Hello everyone. Once again, I am here for explaining a new chapter from NCERT textbook of English of Standard 5. And the topic is Rip Van Winkle. So it is our new chapter. So let us discuss this story in detail. So first of all, look at this. This story is about Rip Van Winkle, a good-natured but lazy man who goes away into the hills and falls asleep. When he awakes 20 years later, Rip finds that quite a few things have changed. So here this story is about Rip Van Winkle, who was a very good man, but he was lazy. So this whole story is about him, how he falls asleep and how he passed 20 years in a sleep. We have to see. Many years ago, at the foothills of the Catskills mountains was a little village. In the village lived a simple, good-natured fellow named Rip Van Winkle. He was a kind neighbor, ready to help anyone. Everyone in the village liked him. The children of the village shouted with joy whenever they saw him because he played with them. He taught them to fly kites and shoot marbles and told them long stories. So see, there is a description about Rip Van Winkle and his nature. So from this paragraph, we know that he was a good person. Also, he was a good human being because he always helped each and everyone in his village. Also a good neighbor, for ready to help everyone in any situation. So all the children of the village also they liked Rip Van Winkle. Why? Because he taught them to fly the kites, shoot the marbles, and also he told the long stories, short stories, moral stories to that children. And we know that children like stories. So because of that, Rip Van Winkle was very popular among children also. The only problem with Rip was that he was very lazy. उसमें एक प्रॉब्लम थी. क्या थी? कि वो लेजी था, आलसी था. He was a lazy. He did not work on his own farm and just laid away his time. His fancies were filled to pieces. His cow was going astray. Weeds grew on his farms. Rip's constant companion was his dog named Wolf. To avoid work, he would walk away into the forest with his dog. So here in the second paragraph also there is a description about Rip, but about his nature, that he was a very lazy person. वो कैसा था? Lazy था. He did not want to work on his own farm. So उसका खुद का एक farm है, but he did not want to work. So there is so many things are there. उसकी जो fence थी, the fences around his farm also falling into the pieces. उसकी जो cow थी, also he was going here and there, and he was a companion. उसका एक companion यानी उसका एक दोस्त था. कौन था? It was his dog. उसका एक dog था, and the name of that dog is Wolf. देखो dog का नाम भी कैसा है? Wolf. And to avoid work, देखो काम नहीं करना पड़े उसके लिए क्या करता था Rip and उसका dog? They just walk away into the forest. वो लोग फॉरेस्ट में चले जाते थे. One day, Rip just walked on and reached the highest part of the mountains. It was late in the afternoon when he reached there. Tired after his long climb, he lay down and began daydreaming. It was soon evening and he realized it would be night by the time he reached his village. So one day when he went to the mountain, he reached the peak of that mountain, the highest point of that mountain, and he just think that let us wait and let us rest here for some time. So it was afternoon, so up to evening I am staying here and rest here. So these things come into the mind of that people, that Rip. So उसने सोचा कि भाई मैं चलो यहाँ सोचा था, पूरा दिन थक गया था चलते चलते. So then he take a rest there and began daydreaming, means सपने देखने लगा. And it was soon evening. देखते देखते शाम हो गई. And then he realized that it was night by the time he reached his village, यानी घर पे वापस जाते हुए नाइट हो जाएगी. So these are the things that, but suddenly he heard a voice calling out, Rip Van Winkle, Rip Van Winkle. He looked around and saw a short old man with thick hair and grizzled beard walking towards him with a barrel. He made signs to help him carry the barrels. Rip hurried to help the stranger who caught his hand tightly. So here suddenly when he was about to go back to his home, then suddenly he listened one voice. जो घर जा रहा था ना उसको एक वॉइस सुनाई दिया, दैट रिप वन विंकल, यानी उसे कोई पुकार रहा था. सो ही लुक्ड अराउंड, सो ही सॉ वन मैन, ओल्ड मैन था, विद अ थिक हेयर, बहुत बड़े बड़े हेयर थे, एंड अ ग्रिजल्ड बियर्ड, वॉकिंग टुवर्ड्स विद अ बैरल, और उसके सामने आ रहा था बैरल के साथ. सो रिपान, वी नो दैट कि भाई रिपान was a very good person, kind hearted person, every time ready for help to anyone. So यहाँ पे भी उसने सोचा कि लाओ चलो इसका हेल्प करते. So Rip hurried to help the stranger who caught his hand tightly. So उसका जो इसने हाथ पकड़ा था, the old man, उसकी हेल्प करने के लिए वो चला गया. Together they reached a place where there was some more odd looking man playing 9 pins. So they both went to that place. वो एक जगह पे जाते, वहां पे उसके जैसे ही सब लोग थे. देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल्स लाइक, बट दे आर ऑड लुकिंग मैन. इंसान तो लेकिन कैसे थे? दे आर ऑड लुकिंग, हमारे जैसे नहीं, नॉर्मल इंसान नहीं थे, उसके अलग दिखते थे. सो दे आर प्लेइंग 9 pins. They were all dressed the same way and all of them had beards of various shapes and colors. So see the description of that different people, odd men, is that they wearing the same dress. उनका जो ड्रेस था ना, ड्रेसिंग सेंस, they all are wearing the same, but their hair, their beards have different of style and color. उनकी जो hair and beard थी ना वो different color के और style के थे. So these are the things are there. Even though they were playing a game, their faces were serious and there was silence. So वो लोग गेम खेल रहे थे, but they are very serious while they are playing game. वो जो लोग ऑड मैन थे ना, दे आर वेरी सीरियस जब वो खेल रहे थे तब. द ओनली साउंड वॉज द नॉइज ऑफ द बॉल्स विच इकोज इन द माउंटेन्स लाइक थंडर. वहां पे एक ही साउंड आ रहा था, वो जब बॉल फेंकते हैं ना तब उसका जो आवाज था वो पूरे माउंटेन में घुसता है, लाइक अ थंडर, पूरे माउंटेन में घुसता रहता है. एज अ रीप एंड हिज कंपेनियन रीच्ड देम, they stopped playing and stared at Reep with a fixed gaze. So when jab Reep and his companion, means his dog Wolf, they both reached there, वो वहाँ पे पहुँचे, that they all are stopped playing. They are playing, but when they saw that Reep is coming, then they all are stopped playing and just staring at Reep with a gaze. Rip was really frightened. So now Rip was frightened that why they people are looking at me. वो लोग इस तरह से मुझे क्यों देख रहे? Why are they looking with a gaze at me? So these are the things incoming in the mind of Rip Van Winkle. Then his companion emptied the content of the barrel into glass and made Rip drink it. So then the companion जिसके साथ वो वहाँ पे आया था, the old man, उसने उस बैरल में से एक ड्रिंक निकाला, एंड दे गिव दैट ड्रिंक टू रिप. रिप ओबेड एज ही वॉज ट्रेम्बलिंग विथ फियर. सिंस ही वॉज थर्स्टी, ही ड्रंक अ फ्यू मोर ग्लासेस एंड स्लोली फेल इनटू डीप स्लीप. सो ही नेवर ओबेड दैट पर्सन. सो ही जस्ट इन अ फियर, वो डर रहा था इसीलिए उसने मना नहीं किया. देन ही सडनली ड्रिंक, बट सो ही वॉज अ वेरी thirsty, उसको बहुत प्यास लगी थी, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ही ड्रैंक अ फ्यू मोर ग्लासेस. एक तो पिया लेकिन उसको बहुत अच्छा लगा. देन ही ड्रिंक अ फ्यू मोर ग्लासेस एंड स्लोली फेल इनटू अ डीप स्लीप, और एक गहरी नींद में सो गया. On waking up, he found that he was at the place where he had first met that old man. He rubbed his eyes. It was bright sunny morning. Surely I have not slept here all night, thought Reap. So now in the morning when he was wake up, जब वो उठा तब क्या हुआ था? He found that he was at the place where he had first met the old man. वो कहाँ पर था? When जब उस old man को first time पे मिला था ना, वहाँ पे था वो. He rubbed his eyes. अब मॉर्निंग में उठने तो क्या करते हैं? We are just rubbing our eyes. So the same way, Reap also rubbed his eyes. And it was a bright sunny morning. और बहुत अच्छी मॉर्निंग थी. Sunny day was there. And surely I have not slept here all night. Thought Reap. So वो क्या सोचने लगा कि मैं पूरी रात यहाँ पे तो नहीं सोया होगा. He looked around for a wolf, but he was now here. So वो तो वहाँ पे उसके डॉग के साथ आया था, वुल्फ के साथ. So he was searching for his dog. कि भाई कहाँ गया? But it was nowhere. वो कहीं पे भी नहीं था. Reap whistled for him. Wolf, wolf. He then shouted. उसने एक विसल बजाई, फिर भी वो नहीं आया. Then also he shouted his name, that wolf, wolf, where are you? So no dog was to be seen. उसे कोई भी दिखा नहीं. Where is this dog gone? He muttered to himself. वो अपने आप से बोलने लगा, भाई ये आखिर गया कहाँ? Where he was gone. He began to descend the mountain to back to the village. So now उसने सोचा कि चलो मॉर्निंग है, अभी मैं वापस घर पे चला जाऊँ. Then he went back to his home, his village. As he neared the village, he met a number of people, but he didn't know any of them. The villagers also stared at him, equally surprised. Who is this man? Said one. जब वो गांव में गया तो क्या हुआ? It was a surprise. He's waiting for him. क्या surprise थी? Then number of people, उसको रास्ते में जितने भी people मिले, so many people they met, but he never recognized anyone. He didn't know anyone. वो किसी को भी नहीं पहचानता था. And the same thing happened with that villagers, that they have also staring at him. वो उसे भी देख रहे थे, घूर रहे थे, भाई ये कौन है? And someone asked that, who is this man? किसी ने बोला, भाई कौन है ये आदमी? I have never seen him before, said another. So the second person replied that I have never seen him in this village. मैंने कभी नहीं देखा इसे. Looked at his long beard and his wrinkled face. So the villagers are talking that look at his face. उसका face देखो. There is white beard on his face and it was very long, and his face with a wrinkle. उसके face पे wrinkles है and very white long beard भी है उसके face पे. On hearing this, Reap strokes him chin, and to his astonishment, he found his beard had grown a foot long and it was all white. So by hearing this, by hearing the conversation of the villagers, he just moving his hand over his beard and just look at it. उसने अपने beard देखी, then it was a foot long. कितनी बढ़ गई थी? एक फुट जैसी बढ़ गई थी. And it was totally white. पूरी की पूरी white हो गई. An old woman walked up to him and looked at his face for a moment. Then she explained, it is Reap Van Winkle. Welcome home again, old neighbor. So then suddenly one old woman came front of them and said, oh, Reap Van Winkle. अरे भाई ये तो Reap Van Winkle है. Welcome home again. So she welcomed him once again in the village. Old neighbor भी बोला उसको, where have you these 20 long years? कि भाई तुम पूरे 20 साल तक कहाँ थे? So now देखो, Reap Van Winkle, the lazy man, was fall asleep for 20 years. 20 साल तक वो सोता रहा. See, the things happen with that man. So here our story ends with a one question, that where have you been these 20 long years? भाई तुम 20 साल तक कहाँ थे? This was the question raised by that old woman. This is a story adapted from the legend of Rip Van Winkle by Washington Irving. So I hope that you like this story, and also I hope that you understand it. Okay, so thank you.